Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video will have a lot of interesting paths that we will take. Follow the yellow brick road, right? So we're gonna follow maybe several roads that, in my personal opinion, all lead to the same Wizard of Oz. The only question is it just one wizard or it's a number of wizards? So guys, where do we start today? Well, let me tell you what I will be presenting to you first and foremost. I will be showing you how a lot of those political figures, those important leaders, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them, are connected to the same kind of Hasidic movement, Orthodox Jewish movement, that it's, I would say, quite strange. Maybe that's not professional way of describing this movement organization, but it's very strange. And I will be presenting to you people that you really know well from the media, of course, and how it's all connected. We will also look into what is the connection between the Rothschilds, the family of Rothschilds, and that Chabad-Lubavitch movement that, as you know, is all around the world, pretty successful. Maybe, you know what, let's start with this. Let's start with just a very quick post that I came across on Instagram. And today I really require your patience again, because I have so many links opened here for you. So we start with this. Here, as you can see, this person, this Rabbi Schneerson, and we will get back to him later on. This person right here, if you don't recognize, is Bill Gates. So what it says, Bill Gates with Rabbi Schneerson, the head of the Jewish extremist and end times, like this is it, it's over, we run the world, called Chabad, they call it as it is, it's actually called Chabad-Lubavitch. Gates' mother, so Bill Gates' mother, is a Maxwell, related to the Israeli Mossad agents Robert Maxwell and his daughter Ghislaine, who used child trafficking to blackmail world leaders with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you see it yet? I think we do see it already. But as you know, when I was presenting to you the video, I think 2 videos ago, in that gathering in New York City, what was his name? I forgot. The lawyer, Epstein lawyer, was there. I forgot the name already, which maybe is good. So my brain is not occupied. It's enough darkness. Let me just tell you, when I am preparing this for you guys, I have to now smile and laugh because the topic is just so low frequency. It's so low frequency, almost like this video. Let me just present this to you. I have to find it because when you see it, it's like you can't unsee it. So I will mute myself now because there is sound. So look at this. What is this? I'm not saying this is Chabad-Lubavitch, but there is some Chabad.
She talks about a lot. One of the biggest things.
What the fuck is going on? They got chickens in their hand. They praying with the chickens.
Care for victims or care to protect victims. She says
They doing anything with the chickens. I don't know what the fuck that is, but they praying with the chicken. A live chicken in their hand. What the fuck?
She talks about a lot. One of the biggest things.
What the fuck?
Yes, exactly. What the F? But, you know, when you think about those tunnels, it's just you replace that chicken, and I cannot smile anymore, with another chicken, which I know many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's, of course, just conspiracy theory. And I will not say it's for entertainment purposes only, because this is not entertaining at all. So let's go to Moscow for a moment. I think this video is from 2014. I will be playing original sound first, just so you know this is actually in Kremlin. But then I will be reading to you the translation, since it's pretty small, and the subtitles, and it's just easier for you to see. Let me find this video. I think it is from 2014. Let's see what AP archives, what it says. Yes, July 9th, 2014, Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomed an international delegation of rabbis to the Kremlin on Wednesday. They discussed joint efforts to combat neo-Nazism, fascism, xenophobia, and anti-Semitism. Putin says here, this is our fight, and we are happy to know that you are on the front line with us together to fight hatred and anti-Semitism. So let's take a listen. First, you're gonna hear that this is original recording, not AI. And then I'm gonna read it to you.
Объявляет свой народ своим врагом. Особую тревогу вызывает тут и там возрождающиеся идеи нацизма.
Okay, so let's go to the beginning. It's a quick video because a lot of you prefer when I'm reading because it's really small. I agree. In this case, it's really small. So what Putin is saying, declaring an entire nation as an enemy is particularly alarming. The resurgence of Nazi ideas here, and there is desire to thank the Jewish community and organizations that, given certain situations in today's world, actively and courageously continue to uncompromising fight against any manifestations or attempts to revive Nazi ideology. I want to say that we consider you our closest allies in this regard and ask you to consider us in the same. Let's see if this is translated. I don't see the translation for this one, but maybe this is in English, so let's see.
This is our fight.
Okay, so let me mute myself now. He will speak in English.
This is our fight, and we are very happy to know that you are in the front line with us together to fight hatred and anti-Semitism. Спасибо.
All right, so this doesn't say much, right? Because I don't know, this is Chabad-Lubavitch or it's not. And it was many years ago. Now here is a video. Let me take you to this one. This is a video presenting to you. The name of the person is, one second, let me find it. Vladimir Zhirinovsky, who they called was ultra-nationalist Russian politician. He was actually a very strong supporter of President Putin, and he passed away in March 2022. So right soon after the special military operation started, he was reportedly placed. Let me actually show you what I'm reading. Let me show you this. Then you're gonna see him in a video. He was placed in a medical induced coma and underwent treatment for COVID-19 (SHMOVID) complications such as sepsis, if I mispronounce, apologies, and respiratory failure. Zhirinovsky claimed to have been vaccinated against COVID-19 8 times. Wow, 8 times with Sputnik. So that didn't protect him from Shmowit. I know I'm sarcastic, but look at this. All of this is such a BS. On 25th of March, 2022, Zhirinovsky was reported to have died in hospital. Who knows what really happened? Now let's go to this video. It's just interesting that he transitioned in March 2022, but it's just me, and I am such a big tinfoil hat conspiracy that, you know what, I question everything. That's how it is. So maybe that's good. It takes me to some very interesting discoveries. This is the same person. So this ultra extra right-wing Russian politician in a video that many of you probably seen. If there are commercials, forgive me guys, but this is from Rumble. So let's go.
Мы такое право не даем русские, понял?
Хорошо, у нас в
Вы
стране...
евреи, поезжай в Израиль, а вы русские,
Хорошая
все.
идея. Но не сейчас.
Русские Жириновский учат меня, куда мне ехать.
Спокойно.
Здесь Россия, а не евреи. Вот поезжай в Израиль, и там проехали.
Надо отметить, что евреи живут в разных странах.
Вот ты так и говоришь все время. Вот вы только бегаете по судам, по судам, щекам, развеете,
Владимир Александр Алексеевич, спасибо за рейтинг, но спокойнее.
Да.
А я могу сказать так. А вот я...
Больше я с ним ни в одной
Я помню,
передаче не буду.
да, я помню.
Подлец под лицом.
Нет, не ругайтесь.
Никогда не будешь.
Не ругайтесь. Хорошо, я
Негодяй,
понял.
которого не видит
Хорошо,
свет.
вставайте.
Тебе власть дает тебе мандат, а не народ. Не скрывай здесь все. КГБ дает все тебе.
КГБ?
Прокуроры.
Тоже хорошо.
На них работаешь, сливаешь информацию, какую нужно, и людей в тюрьму сажают.
Вообще-то
А ты
я
здесь
знал,
что стоишь и
что-
начнешься.
Okay, so that was, as I believe, during the presidential campaign in Russia. I might be wrong about it, but he was extreme, right? Well, extreme in the case that he was just saying things. But again, interesting, very interesting. Was it authentic? Was it genuine, or was it a performance? I tend to believe that that was actually quite genuine. Now, where shall I take you guys? I want to take you to two facts that you cannot deny at this point. And that is that the Russian Federation is still of the WHO, which you know is World Health Organization, which means the whole project of Shmowit, right there. So let's take a look at this. Let's just confirm this. What country, let's start with this. What country is not part of WHO, which is the World Health Organization? Surprise, surprise, where a lot of money is also. Liechtenstein is a member of UN, but not WHO. And other members, non-members, so Vatican is not a member of the UN and is also not a member of WHO. By default, just by default. And United States is a member state of the UN and was a member of WHO, but has recently started the process of withdrawing. So let's see, is Russia a part of WHO? No, Russia is not part of the World Health Organization. It is a member state with official presence, including a country office and recently relocated regional office. So what does it mean? Well, membership. Russia is a member state of the WHO. So this looks really confusing. It's not part of, but it's a member. So it's in the organization, right? And you have the office in Russia from WHO. Here is withdrawal claims. Although there have been discussions about Russia potentially taking steps to withdraw from some international bodies, including the WHO, it has not formally left the organization. So it looks like Russia is still part of it. All right, now let's go to the banking situation before we continue, because it's really, I think it says a lot. So, you know, in Russia, there is a central bank of Russia, right? So I wanted to know, is the Bank of Russia part of the IMF? And it is, yes, the Central Bank of Russia, which is Bank of Russia, is the monetary authority for the Russian Federation, which is a member country of the IMF. As a member, the Bank of Russia works with the IMF on various matters, including technical assistance, and also serves as the depository for the IMF's ruble-denominated funds. So let me just say, they actually, I think it was after Yeltsin that they signed up for this experience. But I want to say, when you look at things like digital ruble coming, I think we are at this point when we really see the global project going on. Because if you don't, then I don't know. It really is just presented in different way from different sides, different countries. Like there is good side and there is bad side, there is dark and light, and it's better there, but not necessarily, because some countries already have digital ID and they are controlling and they are monitoring. Drones will be flying more and more. One more thing here, I know I'm sidetracking a lot today, but don't you think that this entire new war concept that we are witnessing in Ukraine, so, you know, however you call it, special military operation, Russian invasion, that's another terminology, whatever they use. It's something that is making you accustomed to drones. Means like that's how they operate. They use drones a lot, more and more. And it's almost like you're becoming accustomed to it. Like, okay, so now drones are the thing. Soon you're gonna see those drones flying over your head for the protection only, and then not necessarily just for the protection, right? Maybe for the removal only. That's what I think, and I don't think I'm far away from the truth. So we know how the situation looks, why they didn't withdraw from the World Health Organization if they had Sputnik. We have to ask President Putin about it. But now let me take you to those rabbis, because this is important plot. I believe that they're almost like handlers in a way, handlers of certain people, you know, like you have those handlers in Hollywood of celebrities, wives, you know, have to watch The Wives, for example, but they are handlers. And I'm coming to this realization that the same thing is with those rabbis. So, for example, when you look at the connection they all have, rabbis, and actually not only rabbis, but mainly rabbis. So you look at those connections. For example, let me take you right here to Steve Witkoff, special envoy, right? So this is the guy who is very close to Trump, and he went to see President Putin a number of times in a very friendly, which supposed to be friendly, but maybe there is a different reason for it, approach. Like he is the connecting link in a way, it looks like. But I think something else is the connecting link. The Jerusalem Post says, this is from August 1st, this year, 2025, US envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, walked from his Jerusalem hotel to the Western Wall Plaza on Thursday, pausing to offer a personal prayer, sorry for my language today, for the hostages and for the end of the war. Witkoff was greeted at the site by Rabbi Shmuel Rabinovitz, rabbi of the Western Wall and holy sites, who briefly outlined the wall's spiritual, historical centrality to the Jewish people. We're not going to go into the meaning of this wall because I presented already. So are they really believing this? I don't know. So here is this picture, right? So who is this rabbi? Let's look into him. Does he has any connections to this Chabad-Lubavitch, very strange movement? His name is Rabbi Shmuel. Don't confuse him with the other crazy one, Shmuley. You remember Shmuley? that is drinking children's blood and likes the Benjamin dollars. Actually, that crazy one was for a long time, for 11 years, I think, if not more, part of this Chabad-Lubavitch movement. I'm telling you guys, when I'm digging into this, it's like literally all connected. So I hope you're watching my videos so you understand what I am talking about. Now let's go to this rabbi. Let me find him. This is the one that was joining Steve Witkoff at that wall. Rabbi Shmuel Rabinovich is the rabbi of the Western Wall and Holy Sites of Israel. So he resides there. He's not a prominent figure within the Chabad-Lubavitch movement. So he is not a prominent figure there, though he was raised in a Lubavitcher family and studied at the Lubavitcher yeshiva. All right, we're gonna leave it here. Now let's go to Jared Kushner, because it's all connected. We go to Jared Kushner. So you know, this is son-in-law of President Trump. And let's look at his connection with this Chabad-Lubavitch that is also very strong in Russia. Jared Kushner has strong connections to Chabad-Lubavitch, rooted in his own Orthodox Jewish upbringing and his time at Harvard, where he supported the local Chabad house. His family's foundation has also made significant donations to various Chabad institutions over the years. More recently, he and his family pledged a substantial donation to the Chabad of the United Arab Emirates. Can you imagine? Even in Dubai, they have this, in memory of Rabbi Zvi Kogan after he was murdered. So let's look into this article for a moment, because as I heard, Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner, they own home in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken, not too far away from that location of that Chabad. Here is the article about the donation to United Arab Emirates. Kushner brothers, Ivanka Trump, Karlie Kloss, pledged $2 million to United Arab Emirates Chabad. History has shown that those who embrace the Jewish people benefit, and those who persecute the Jewish people ultimately face spectacular defeat, the president-elect's son-in-law wrote. Here they are. And they donated 1 million, particularly them. So this is the story. Now let me take you to those two men that I have just mentioned. So we have Steve Witkoff, special envoy to Trump, and we have his son-in-law Jared Kushner, in an interview addressing the situation in Gaza and Israel. Just for a moment, then we're gonna go to more people, I promise. Let's take a listen to this.
Say now, having been there, that it was genocide?
No, absolutely not, no.
Before the hostages actually come out, you decide to go to Gaza. And what did you see?
It looked almost like a nuclear bomb had been set off in that area. And then you see these people moving back, and I asked the IDF, where are they going? Like, I'm looking around, these are all ruins, and they said, well, they're going back to the areas where their destroyed home was, onto their plot, and they're going to pitch a tent. And it's very sad, because you think to yourself, they really have nowhere else to go.
Would you say now, having been there, that it was genocide?
No, absolutely not, no.
Israel has become increasingly isolated because of this war, because of the pounding in Gaza. What do they need to do? What should they do to reestablish the good reputation they had?
Just be exceptional. You know, I think if they don't have to explain themselves to the world, I think this war has taken a big toll. Yeah. But if Israel focuses on the things that make them incredible, which is their ingenuity, their innovation, their compassion, they focus on creating and just being exceptional, I think that in a couple of years from now, you'll see Israel going from controversial to very, very popular again on the world stage.
What about the anti-Semitism? It seems that this war has created a rash of anti-Semitism everywhere.
Well, that's unacceptable.
And it's even going on in the United States of America.
Well, that's my point. That's unacceptable. And that's the president's position.
But you know, when you see the destruction that you went and saw in person, you see what's going on television screens, people see it with their eyes. It makes a big emotional impact when it comes in that way.
I think what Israel should just do is focus on showing people that if you're partners with Israel, you can benefit. And if you are against Israel, they're a tough opponent.
Wow, right? Just wow. Can I just ask you guys, how is it for you? I have this person, Kushner, has very creepy vibes to me. I don't know what it is. I just feel very awkward, almost really not human energy like coming out from him. Tell me about you, how you're experiencing his presence on the screen, because even in his eyes and the face expression, really, really awkward. I don't know how this happened that she ended up with him, but you know, arranged marriages or God only knows. So let's go to the second person that is very close to Trump. I wanted to know if he is part of this Chabad-Lubavitch movement. Quick reminder, the tunnels, just tunnels, tunnels, tunnels. Let's not forget those tunnels. Howard Lutnik, as many of you know, you see the picture right here, who is what's his official position? Commerce Secretary, okay? Has a strong connection to Chabad-Lubavitch, highlighted by his support for its causes and his visits to the grave of the movement leader, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. So that rabbi that I started with today, my video with, next to Bill Gates, that was this incredible, almost messiah to that movement leader. So he was like this very important one, and then we will go back to him. So Lutnik has accompanied other politicians to the site, so he was bringing other politicians to that site, which serves as a pilgrimage point for many in the Jewish community. Lutnik's affiliation with Chabad is part of his broader support for Jewish organizations and causes. So this is someone who is deeply involved in this Chabad-Lubavitch movement. And some people even say that he is Trump's handler. I cannot say that, I don't know, but definitely he's very close to Trump. And let's look into this one, guys, again. So this rabbi, where I have this, guys, thank you for your patience. This one. I wanted to know if there is like one rabbi that is designated for United States, since there is one for Russia region. And I show you in a second, there is even one for China. Haha, yep. So Chabad-Lubavitch rabbi for USA, that's what I did. And it says there is no single Chabad-Lubavitch rabbi for USA. Instead, the organization has a large network of thousands of rabbis and emissaries across the country, with its global headquarters located in Brooklyn and New York. So this is where the tunnels were, where they were allegedly, just conspiracy, abusing and killing children, okay? While the late Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, so this is the one right here, this is this Messiah, almost Messiah, no longer on this earth, is the foundational leader. Spiritual and administrative leadership is now carried out through the central organizations and its network of local centers. Okay, so let's look. Rabbi for Russia, just a reminder, you remember the one that I showed you many times, close to Putin. So here it says, the main Chabad-Lubavitch rabbi for Russia is Berel Lazar, who has served as one of the two chief rabbis of Russia since 2000. So when Putin came to power, somehow this one became the chief rabbi of Russia, like almost designated for the time. Just, of course, my conspiracy. He also chairs the Federation of Jewish Communities of Russia and has been a member of the Public Chamber of Russia. Known for his connection to President Vladimir Putin, he is sometimes referred to as Putin's rabbi, and I am no longer surprised at all at this point. So where do we go from here? Well, let's see. Maybe we should go to a video that does not age at all, because this is like the documentary almost. So let's take a look at this very quickly.
The United States of America is never going to be prosperous, and it is never going to be at peace unless we eradicate the Zionist parasite in our economy, our entertainment system, our mass media, our social media, and of course our educational system and our government. The Rothschilds, the Vatican, and the Chabad supremacist cult have basically a global network of control that relies on gold and blackmail. And pedophilia is a huge part of it. Right now, we don't have the public and public government. We have two criminal classes, one called Republican, one called Democrat. We have been deliberately dumbed down over the last 50 years. We've been dumbed down chemically. Fluoride is one way in which we've been dumbed down. Too many people across America have become stupid. They are in a polarized mindset, and they're not capable of having a fact-based conversation. The amount of garbage that the average American is subjected to on a 24-hour basis is it's no wonder we've become an idiot nation. We have fragmented America. We have tried to eradicate individualism. We have tried to eradicate family and community, and that is all part of this globalist agenda. The United States of America is never.
By the way, did you see the 666 on the plates of the car? Just another conspiracy, right? And now I want to take you to this interesting article. I wanted to know if there has been any connections, which I'm sure there have been, between the Chabad-Lubavitch movements and Rothschilds. Well, I haven't seen anything as far as like directly BFFs, but kind of is like BFFs. You go to this website and it says, this is officially Chabad.org. And it says the first Rothschild. It's an article about how generous Rothschild was, but I'm going to read you from the same website, a different article. How entertaining is this, right, everyone? Can you just tell me that they are not all connected? Absolutely. It's like a web. It's a web. Web of something. Let's read this for a moment. The Rothschilds family. The secret of a fortune. You have all heard of the famous Rothschild family of bankers, who were as much famous for their great wealth as for their great, and this is hard words, I would say, charitableness, how generous they were. Haha. The founder of this world famous banking firm was Mayer Amschel Rothschild, who was born in Frankfurt, sounds like Frankfurt, 214 years ago in a very religious family, several members of which were rabbis. His father, Amschel Moses Rothschild, who died a year after Mayer Amschel became bar mitzvah, had hoped that his son would be a rabbi. Instead, he became one of the world's greatest financiers, yet remained strictly religious and humble, and Jews everywhere could speak with a great pride of him. How did this young orphan, born in Jungegasse, Jewish quarter, sorry to German viewers if I mispronounce, Judengasse, in Frankfurt, became so successful and so wealthy? Well, there is a story current among Hasidim that reveals the secret of his unusual success. It's a heartwarming story, and you will be glad to read it here. The hero of our story, however, is his father, Anshel Moses, in a small town in Galicia called Chortkov. The Jewish community appointed a rabbi who was known for his great scholarship and piety. Well, I know the word. His name was Zevi Hurwitz, and he was affectionately called Rabbi Hershele Trzodkower. Sorry guys, hard words. He was known as a saintly man, and many came to him for advice or for a blessing. He tried to help everybody, and most of all the poor orphans and widows, for whom he collected special funds. In addition, money left in trust for orphans and widows were placed in his hands for safekeeping. Now, a rabbi with such responsibilities required a shamash, or shamash, I think, a beadle. His duties included the running of errands for the rabbi, accompanying him on his way, handing him a holy book when the rabbi was studying, taking care of the visitors who came to the rabbi, and so on. Okay, so let me summarize this story because it's a rather long story, and you can read it later on. I will attach the link in the description box. This story describes Rothschild. When his father died, the son went to work for this rabbi, and that rabbi was collecting the money for orphans and widows, etc. And one day, that money disappeared, and the story goes that that rabbi confronted that young man if he was the one that took that money, and it looked like he did, and he returned part of it, but then he was working hard to return the remaining amount. But then one day the police appeared at the rabbi's door and asked him if he somehow if he somehow is familiar with this box or a bag. And in that bag were the money that were stolen from him. But he said, how is this possible? Because that young man who was working for me, he said that he committed that theft. Well, it happened to be that it wasn't that Rothschild, that was actually a lady who was cleaning Rabbi's house or his place. So it turned around that it was a really good man, the Rothschild, the first Rothschild, that's the story. And as you scroll down, you can probably read it here, that the blessing, because he blessed that young man after that situation was cleared out, Rabbi Hershele blessed this man, and Anshel Moses Rothschild became a successful merchant and money changer in Frankfurt. His son, Mayer Anshel Rothschild, succeeded even on a larger scale. He had 5 sons, each of whom settled in a different financial capital of Europe, and their wealth increased from generation to generation. A grandson of Mayer Anshel, Baron Edmond de Rothschild, already Baron, head of the house of Rothschilds, who lived in France, especially did much to help his brethren in various colonizing enterprises, which earned him the name of Hanadif Hayadua, the famous benefactor. He lived to a very ripe old age and died in 1934 in Paris at the age of 90. So why I'm reading this to you guys is the reason for it is this, because this Chabad is presenting Rothschilds as absolutely the most generous, fantastic, incredible family, very, very godlike. And what do you think? Is it true or is not true? Let me just see one more thing if I have anything else prepared for you, but I think that's all for today. I was all over the place because when you have so many links open, you know, it's hard sometimes. But here is the video, guys. Looking at all of this and getting more and more into those details, and I really don't want to become an expert in this topic, trust me, I don't, but I see the absolutely unquestionable connection between that Chabad, that movement, the leaders of the countries. Oh, I forgot to show you about this Chabad in China. So let's look into this. Let me just find it because they are also in China. This is a very free-flowing video, everyone. So thank you for your patience. And there they are. I think they are everywhere. Are we surprised? Let's see. Sorry, guys, let me find it. Here we go. So there is like the same story like in US, like there is not a main rabbi for China. But there is no single Chabad-Lubavitch rabbi for all China, but rather several located in different cities to serve the Jewish community there. Key Chabad rabbis include, so those are who reside in China, Rabbi Shimon Freundlich in Beijing, that's his name, Rabbi Shalom ben Hazan in Shenzhen, and Rabbi Dovi Henning in Chengdu. Yeah. And it looks like this rabbi in Beijing has been there since 2001. So at this point, I am like, they are literally everywhere. Here we go. What can I say? All the links will be attached down below in the description box. Let me know what you think. Why are they in Russia? Please. Is it good? What do you think? Just leave it to your opinion. I think you already know mine. Thank you so much for supporting my work. If you appreciate the content I provide, even though it's a slightly chaotic today, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel or check your subscriptions. Those of you who have unsubscribed, you're probably not watching anymore, or maybe you are. Because you want to know more. It's okay. It's okay. I don't take it personally, trust me. I know there is many of you who appreciate my videos and I focus on those. As well as I want to say thank you to everyone who is supporting me on Patreon. Really, really helps you guys. And who donates on PayPal or becomes the member of Locals or of my channel. And if you have Instagram, make sure to follow me there because I focus on completely different things. And that is on beauty in this world, from my travels and just from beautiful things I come across. Let me show you my Instagram. One moment. I think my Instagram frozen, but it's Anya K_44. It's right here. You can see it. So you can follow me there as well. And with this being said, lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it.